Great couple coming up here next on the show, and I'm going to let my baby introduce them.
Hey, now on the show for Making Marriage Work, we have a new dynamic duo team for our topic, the value of a healthy Christian marriage. And these are newlyweds. We have Edward and Antoinette Briscoe. Welcome. 3 months in, right?
3 months.
They so new. 3 months in. So how you guys doing?
We're good.
Speak directly in that mic.
We're great.
Yeah, about to say y'all great.
You know, because see, it'll move with y'all. So
Yeah,
everybody come here. They move to the mic. It moves.
Hey, Tracy, look down, bro.
So y'all know y'all newlyweds, right?
Yes.
And so every time someone comes on the McCain show, they're considered family members. So you're families now. So I'm gonna give y'all a hard time as newlyweds. So I just want to let you know. It's not
welcome it. We welcome
I mean, because
I don't know, Rick. They still mellow. We all whacked out. They mellow.
I want to know. I want to know what love is. I want to know what's going on.
That used to be my song.
And so you guys are newlyweds. 3 years, right?
3 months.
3 months.
Baby.
Okay, I'm testing them.
Oh,
Does
you
it feel
not
like
stop?
3 years?
Are you the agent? You ate it? I'm gonna tell you something. Marriage, when you're first starting off marriage, it can be overwhelming because there's so many things you've got to do in a marriage. And I think a lot of times people don't talk about that, is that, it can be very, overwhelming when you get into something like, oh, is this what I got to do? This is interesting. But talk to me a little bit about, you guys and what's going on, 3 months. I knew Brittany was going to jump in. That's the Betty Shabazz. She always corrects people. 3 months, 3 years. But talk to me a little bit about, how it's been for these 3 months being newlyweds.
Well, let me jump in. Reverend McCain. Reverend McCain, thank you for, letting us be on the show to have this opportunity. So how has it been? Amazing. Amazing.
Okay. I like
amazing.
that. That's a smooth brother. You look over there. I'm going to make her think I'm going to say something. Amazing.
It's truly been an amazing journey. What really has done a lot for us is the preparation in getting to this 3 months. It was a long engagement, a long courtship. So, where we are today, I would say it's really based off of, the preparation we had getting here. So it's been amazing.
So I know family members actually introduced you guys, right? So they got it right, I see, huh?
Yes.
Oh, speaking to that mic, girl.
Grab that mic.
Yes, my cousin actually introduced us.
Okay, I wish I had some good cousins like that.
Why?
But no, I got you, babe.
Right, I'm the one that should be wanting some cousins.
Well, this ain't divorce
Cousins
court.
that give good advice.
I wish.
So,
What's long? You said long
and
engagement.
courtship.
What do you call long?
The engagement was a year. We were engaged for a year.
That ain't long.
I don't know, for a man, when you got to wait, that's a long time. I'm telling you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. See, we being honest on this show. Me and my wife, we got married 6 months beforehand because the Bible says it's better to marry than to burn, and I was burning.
We was burning.
I said, we finna elope. Let me tell you something. You got to do things, smart, and I was burning. I'm like, I can't wait. Yeah. We got to go elope. I don't care. Nobody don't know. We got to go elope because I can't wait. So I understand the brother. We here with each other, man. But it can't be long. It can't be long. So you've been married for this 3 years. I mean, 3 years, 3 months. Y'all stop correcting me.
Can we come back? Can we come back in 3 years?
You can't. You sure can.
Whenever you want to.
Okay. Right.
With her, you can come back.
Yes.
Okay.
So talk to a little bit about Mr. Briscoe. Talk to me a little bit about the man's preparation for a covenant marriage. How would you go about preparing yourself for that? Because you're a Christian man, correct?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And we talked about how difficult it could be as a flesh man, being in that Christian mode. How did you go about preparing yourself to be the man that God wanted you to be for this young lady? Because there are a lot of brothers that don't know nothing about that.
No, absolutely. First, going to God. Really
Amen.
Going to God and asking God, is this what you brought me here for? Is this why you've brought me to this woman? Is this why this woman was brought to me? Secondly, I'm a huge believer in seeking advice from elders who've traveled that road before.
Amen.
I have gone to fraternity brothers, men at church, my own father, just seeking that advice. And all of them had the same consistent message. All of them had the same consistent message. The words might have been different, but the messaging was still the same. And I took that advice, went back to God one more time, and I got down on my knee and asked this woman to be my wife.
Oh,
It's so cute.
I like that because, he a lot of times men always think that we already know something, and we don't want to go to those who have already, gone before us and have wisdom and knowledge. And he said he went to men that had went through it, and men of wisdom that he would go to seek counsel. And then he got all this counsel, and after hearing all that, he went back to God to reaffirm what he had learned was according to God's will, and then he got on his knees and proposed to him. Men don't like to do that sometimes. I know I'm a man, I'm saying this, but we already think, I know what I could do for it. No, you don't.
Yeah.
That's the one mistake that we make, that we already think we know what we can do for it.
And that's why I got to interrupt.
I know you're going to interrupt me, but I wasn't
do.
finished. And see,
I know.
you that's the Betty Shabazz in you.
That's
But go
the
ahead, Betty.
Shabazz. I love the fact that Edward said that, because men, you guys don't go to other people. And for a man to humble himself and say, I can't get this right on my own, or I don't know exactly what I'm doing. Let me go. Let God send people to me that I trust, that I admire, that like your father. That's the key thing that got me. When you could go to your father, go to other frat members, church people, and everything to find out the information. Because as women, we do think, well, he asked me to marry him. That's what we looking for, but it's like, no, he had to have that preparation.
And speaking of preparation, the mic is going to be moved over to Mrs. Briscoe now, so she could tell me. Now, he gave me a very good answer. Man of God, I love it. Man of God. So you on the spot now.
I am.
What was the preparation that you did for yourself being the woman of God for this young man?
Definitely a lot of prayer. Being with Edward was something totally different for me. It was a lifestyle change. So just asking God if it was the right thing was the most important. He is the type of person that seeks counsel from other people, and I'm not. So he'll go to friends and family all the time over things, and I'm not. So I only had, to pray about it and ask if this was the right thing and look over some things, rearrange lifestyles, and this is why we're here.
Amen.
Amen. This is why they are here on the McCain train.
And so you guys have been married for, I'm going to say, I'm just waiting for them to just look at me. 3 months. I know it's 3 months. Talk about, just tell some people about what it means to go through that process. You've been married for 3 months. And I remember the first time I was married for her for 3 months. I was in a state of awe. I was just excited and happy, and I wasn't really looking for any challenges that was coming my way. People tell you about them, but until you experience them, it could, you don't never know how you're going to handle them. Yeah. Talk a little bit about, some of the challenges that a young couple will face when they're going into a covenant relationship, because you all are not just married. You're in a covenant relationship with Jesus Christ. So talk to me a little bit about what it means to be in that covenant relationship, and how, for that 3 months, how it has been having God a part of your marriage.
Well, having God a part of the marriage is definitely important. The challenges that we are experiencing, I'm going to say experiencing because we're still going through, we're still newly married, is that just trying to blend our entire lives together. We're trying to blend finances and goals as far as our future. We're trying to blend our family. We have a blended family as well. So
I could tell that because the way it was looking like, yeah.
Yeah. So
ahead.
Those are the challenges that we're still experiencing, but we are learning how to get through it with a lot of prayer, going to church, asking God what to do. So I think while it is a challenge for us, I think we are doing very well in this first 3 months at trying to make it work.
Sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to piggyback off of what my wife said.
Put some more bass up in there.
Just to piggyback off of what my wife said, it really is the prayer. It truly, truly is the prayer that helps us move through those challenges. Just to share a very small story that I know she's going to pinch me under the table for saying, but I think it needs to be said. When we have those arguments, even most recently, we were having a conversation, and that conversation started to get loud. We stopped instantly and thought, wait a minute. Is this really what we need to do right now? We stopped the argument right there, prayed, and then continued the conversation at a later time. And we think if it was not for us having that foundation in God to stop the negativity, pray, move the devil out, we wouldn't be sitting here now.
I
like that. I like the honesty because, sometimes people, we newlyweds, we don't want to tell you. Everybody has arguments.
Yes.
We always talk about it all the time. The first 2 years that me and my wife was married, I was looking for the first divorce lawyer I could find.
I was giving him the yellow book. That's how long ago it's been. You could take the yellow page.
They knew the McCains as the people who was going to get divorced within the next 2 months because she was getting on my nerves.
And
I was
Reverend
great.
was getting on. You see that?
I was great. It was her. It was her. But a lot of times people don't want to express that because you are going to go through those issues, and I'm glad you did that, sir, to let people know that, we do have arguments, but the amazing part to me was that you sat there and said, we stopped. Most older couples don't know how to do that, to stop. And we're real here. I mean, there were times that me and Brenda wouldn't talk to each other for weeks.
Yeah.
And we were married for 10 years, and we wouldn't do it. I mean, it took a while. I mean, it took a while to learn that. And so for you all to already be on that step to know that I need to step back is amazing. Continue to do that because that's when you know that when God is into your relationship, he will make you all come closer together with each other. So I'm glad you shared that, and I'm glad you gave that testimony because what it tells to young people, it's all right that we may have an argument. It's how we solve it that matters. So that was great. Baby, you got something you want to say?
I do. I want to ask you guys, since you're newlyweds, did you clarify your perceptions around the values and beliefs that you have before entering into marriage?
Absolutely. We definitely clarified that through many things, the ongoing conversations, just her and I, and then the marital counseling that we went to.
How long did you guys date before you got engaged?
3 years.
Oh, okay. Go, continue.
Oh, sorry.
I want to get a bigger picture of
No
this.
problem. So just really the marital counseling and then the ongoing conversations that we had really helped us clarify, our perception of what we were looking for. And also through the marital counseling, we had a practice of writing a vision statement for our marriage. And writing that is much easier said than done. We agonized over how to write this, what direction it needs to go in. I mean, we got into an argument about how it should be worded, how it should be formatted.
Yes, we did too.
And
you did.
Yeah. And through it all came a great vision that we have posted in our house now that Reverend Moss read during our ceremony.
Trinity.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Shout out to Trinity. So I would say that's how we solidified it. Dear, you want to add?
No, I agree. That is what we did. That was the clarification we needed. It was that vision statement. We had to write the vision of what this marriage was going to be, and that's how we made it clear that God was going to be in the center of this.
And I love that because I hope you guys framed it because we framed ours. Ours is in our living room, so whenever someone come in, they could read it. And I know, like, when Reverend and I have some differences and stuff, sometimes I just go and stand in front of that and read it again because I always think if a major corporation could have a mission statement and a vision, why shouldn't a marriage have them? Because it does give you clarity on what you should expect from one another.
I don't think I've read that thing since it's been up.
I bet you didn't, but
let me just say this: I'm gonna play with my brother right now because we family members now. So don't get mad at me. How do you want me to say your name? Antoinette.
Yes,
okay, I didn't know if there's like Antionette. So don't get mad at me, Antoinette. The problem was because she wanted to write the whole thing and you didn't have much to say. Because that's what happened with me. She wanted to write the whole thing. I'm like, it's called a mission statement. We both have something to say. She wrote the whole thing up and said, this is our mission. Wait a minute. This is your mission statement, Beyonce. So, I mean, I play it with it. But, it's like that's some of that's a part of a relationship because you're strong-willed people, and now you're coming together and you have those issues, but you get it together, and that whole mission statement, is a part of both of you all working together as one. And so it's funny that you always say that. So you all are a part of a group. What group are you all a part of?
An organization?
Yeah.
We're a part of the Masons and Eastern Stars.
Okay. Now, aren't you a part? What is that? What's the
on
group?
Facebook is what he's
on
saying.
Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're a part of the Chi-Town Married.
Shout out Chi-Town.
So we're going to give the Chi-Town Marriage a shout out to and the church that you're part of. Give that church a shout out again.
Trinity United Church of Christ.
And the pastor.
Reverend Otis Moss III.
All right. So we want to give a
said
shout out to that as
the
well. What advice, I'm going to go with you first, Antoinette. What advice would you now, I know it's only been three months, But you've been with this man for almost 4 years, close. What advice would you give a young lady right now that is thinking about making the decision to marry? What advice? It doesn't have to be spiritual. It can be spiritual. But what advice would you give them in making that step?
Well, definitely the spiritual piece is to pray about it first. But on the real piece, I would say to ask yourself, is this what you really want? Are you ready to actually give your life to someone else? That's exactly what you're doing. You're sharing everything now. Are you really ready to give up being independent, being a loudmouth sometimes, being what someone else wants you to be at times? Just be real with yourself and ask yourself, are you really ready for that? And is this the person you can do that for? Because you may be ready for that, but it may not be the right man you can give up all that for. So you have to ask yourself a lot of those questions.
So are you telling me? Now I don't know who are you? Are you saying you were the loudmouth?
Yeah, and I still am sometimes, but
are you Brenda's sister?
You see, we trust a lot.
Are you all Brenda's sister?
She my baby sister.
Okay, are you? Y'all been talking, brother? I can help you.
I need it.
So you're just outspoken, right?
Very.
Okay, and so
Very.
that's understandable. Yeah. And he's dealing with that outspokenness, and he loves it.
And he loving it.
22 years, I still love my outspoken young
Shout
lady
out
over
to the
there.
McCains. 22 years this Friday.
Amen.
Woo! Thank
All
you,
right.
Lord, for holding my peace. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lord, for holding her peace too. Mr. Briscoe, talk to me a little bit about what would you say to the gentleman, helping him out and making that step.
I'm staying consistent. Seek counsel. Seek counsel.
Yeah.
I mean, from God, older brothers who weathered the storm. Really, seek that counsel. I mean, it's nothing like hearing those war stories from older brothers who have been married 25, 30 years, who can tell you stories like, hey, there was a week where me and my wife didn't talk, but I still loved her. I still came home to her. I still protected her. So, understanding those stories that every day the sun is not going to shine on your marriage.
Amen.
That's a good point.
If you can hear them stories, if you can deal with that,
points.
Now, I'm not saying I don't like you, but this
No,
is brother.
me and her
This
here.
is brother to brother.
This baby
You
sister.
and Betty Shabazz, y'all on another world. But brother, I like that, man. That
We in
was
the best
good.
world.
Just constantly seeking, that counsel, and the great thing about it is that, with that you'll be able to counsel someone as well, because it's very evident that you guys have a solid foundation with each other, and we'll be praying that it stays that way. But because already the things to do sets a pattern for you that you're going to have a successful marriage. And unfortunately, a lot of times, we know that marriage right now is somewhere almost at 65% or even 70% fail within the first 3 years. Is it because people don't take the time to recognize that they're going to have issues, and that you guys are already talking about that and saying, yeah, we have arguments. We, I can be, kind of boisterous a little bit sometimes, and I had to change my lifestyle. Those are the key things that people need to understand, because that says that I care enough about this person. I care enough that God has brought them in my life to make some subtle changes to make sure that our relationship grows stronger, because we know Satan is going to fight against it. So tell me a little bit about, Miss Annette. I want you to tell me a little bit about Antoinette.
It's okay.
Can she correct me? Okay.
It's better me do it than the
No,
guest.
because
She's like, that's
she
not
ready.
my name.
She act like she's censor, like the 7-second rule. If I say something, that's not it. I'm
your helpmate,
I'm at to mute your mic. I kept on telling you that a helpmate is someone that a person needs help from.
You need help with getting names.
I digress. So you're married. Was your goal in this marriage? And I'm going to ask you this question because sometimes was your goal to have an everlasting marriage?
Yes, absolutely. I didn't go in this thinking that it wouldn't be anything less than that.
Okay. And so you guys said that you have a blended family. Talk a little bit about that, and how did that play into the part of your relationship?
He has children from a previous relationship. I have a daughter from a previous relationship, and it's challenging, as you all were speaking earlier. It's challenging just trying to blend basically two different worlds into one, or get those two different worlds to get on one accord for what's best for this family. So, you have a lot of outside forces with that you can't control. And it's just difficult just trying to get everyone on the same level. And we're still dealing with that. It's not something we deal with it every day.
And you're only 3 months in.
Yeah,
but you got to look at it. 3 months in, blended family, they just keep the blended family together.
Exactly.
That can be, a very challenge. So, Mr. Briscoe, talk to me a little bit about that. The blended family, the challenges. Help some brother out there right now. Help him understand that he can be successful in a scenario like that.
Okay, absolutely. One of the things that I've actually learned through this 3 months, I've learned it through my wife, is staying in my role as the leader of the household. And times when I've fallen stray from that is when chaos ensues in the house. Kids are all over the place. My wife is frustrated. No one's eating. It's crazy in the house. But when I step back, gather myself and say, okay, Ed, you are the leader of this house. So, and when you're leading, you go ahead and try to put a schedule out there. You're not the dictator of the house. You don't want people to be scared of you, but you want to set the tone and the pace for how things are going to go. Mm-hmm. And once that, everything will go well. And so it's a challenge. It doesn't happen always. It definitely has its ebbs and flows, but when it's done right by me staying in my role, everything works well.
And see, I like Edward saying that because this is a covenant relationship. The Briscoes are living a covenant marriage, because some people could have just heard that and said, what do you mean he's the leader? Sweethearts out there, for those women who don't believe in that, God's the head. He appointed the husband, the wife, and the children in that order. And that's the only order that it should be in under a covenant Christian healthy relationship.
And I also like the fact that he said something very important, that even though he is the head, he's not a dictator.
Right.
That you're not trying to dictate. And for you to have that kind of understanding already says that you did talk to some very wise people, especially your father who, and I'm sure your mother who did an excellent job in raising you to understand that. To have that kind of man already set a pattern of what the household is going to be, that makes it easier for the woman to follow, because it's very difficult for some. But you have to realize that if you have that man that already knows, I'm not a dictator, we can follow, and it's something that I'm doing, and especially as a spiritual man. So I'm proud of you for saying that, and knowing that a lot of men, I'm the head of the household. Well, how are you the head? There's a difference between a boss and a manager. There's a difference between a head of a household and a man just talking. And so I appreciate you doing that.
And if he's a good leader in the household on a covenant relationship, it's easy for the woman to follow and stay in her place and know her role, because man, please, we'll discuss this. You better be joking here. We got company.
I understand.
Anyway, it's easy for a woman to be submissive, and that's a word a lot of women don't like, especially independent women. But if your man on point, that must mean you wasn't on point. If your man is on point, since you want to play, if your man is on point, then you follow him. And then the kids see that, and they respect that. It's no divide and conquer.
Hey, you know
Baby,
what?
don't play with me. Our anniversary coming.
You know that old thing said, let's get ready to rumble. You're going to say, I wasn't on point. I pointed you out, didn't I?
Yeah, so you was on point then.
But let me just stay with the newlywed here. See what happened in 22 years? This is what y'all going to be doing. Like, I tell you one thing. I love her to death. That's my baby, my girl, my boo. We still hold hands. We still in love with each other. I drive her crazy. She drives me crazy. But
I'm the kid caught in the middle.
Yeah, that's our baby.
She's the Oreo. But what I will say is this: is that we have discovered that love at the early stage of our relationship is what brought us through. Of course, it was the Word of God, but it's the love for each other. And you all seem like you're on a great course of understanding that. I'm going to pray for you guys. For the the blended family and all the things that work out, but I'm going to pray that prosperity and wisdom, that God will lead you all in the right direction. Not only that you can be an example for the household that you have, but you can be an example for each and every household to let them know what a young family can do together when God is in the head of the household. So we'll be praying for that. Hey, we're about to get ready to go commercial breaks. We want you all to stay here because y'all can join the fun. We'll be going to be doing all the little silly things about leaving in the car and stuff like that. So we appreciate you all enjoy this being with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yes. So we'll definitely have you back again.
And in between time, I want to hit them with 2 more questions.
Okay, you want to hit them with 2 more questions?
We'll
okay,
hit
them, baby. Hit them. Okay, hey, we're going to go to our commercial break. Where we going?
Okay, right now we are going to the commercial breaks of the Salvation Call and our new PureFlix commercial. We got a lot going on. And our superstar.
Yeah, superstar. This is Rick McCain
Hey,
with Brenda
Rick.
McCain. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.